Indeed, Jesus said, the days are coming, Jerusalem, when your enemies will set up ramparts around you and surround you and hem you in on every side, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation from God. And so it turns, and so it turns. Because in the end, the person we thought we wanted wasn't the person we thought he was. Human beings are funny things. We are more motivated by fear than love, greed than grace, power than understanding. We are more motivated by the drive to survive and thrive than practically anything else. Survive, thrive, become king of the hill. That's language we understand. And the reason is because we're afraid. And we know that others will try to do to us exactly what we're trying to do to them. It's human. And the funny thing is, we often think others are so very different than us, but in this we know we are alike. The ride of Jesus into Jerusalem was in some ways a gift of God to Jesus, a shining moment when he was recognized for who he truly was, where the stones would have sung out if the humans had failed to do so. But it was a bittersweet gift, because the people would not recognize this visitation of God, because this man bringing it was bringing what God wanted, not what they wanted. The people wanted war. They wanted the Romans driven out. They wanted power, they wanted glory, they wanted to revel in the strength that had been the strength of the mighty King David. They wanted to slaughter the Goliath of the Roman Empire and stand proudly holding its head aloft. And Jesus failed to deliver. No, worse, he came delivering something completely different. He came with the call to recognize that yes, even those filthy Romans were children of God, worthy of love, and that the way of God was ultimately the way proclaimed in Isaiah chapter 2, where it says, in the last days the mountain of the house of the Lord will become the highest of the mountains, and all of the nations shall flow to it. Jesus would have had them live with their captors, and he would have insisted that those captors would be won over by love. Oh, silly man. He failed to deliver what the people wanted, and the people turned. The truth, the parade was a gift, but we also know it probably sealed his fate. If Rome was good at anything, and Rome was good at many things, it was especially good at sniffing out insurrection before it even began. If you were someone who gathered large groups of people who cheered for you and called your name, you got noticed and often killed. It's called maintaining control. So yes, the palms are waving and the hosannas ring clear, but not for long. A cross is rising in the distance, and it has the Son of David's name all over it. That Jesus. He would have had them live with their captors and insist that those captors would be won over by love. Silly man. Thoughts like that need to be dealt with. Except what he proclaimed largely came true. As I grow older and continue to study and to learn, I often think, well, I've really become convinced that the worst thing that happened to Christianity, the thing that resulted in the pollution of so much of the thought of Jesus and Moses and the prophets, was the institution of Christianity as the religion of the Roman Empire. But on the other hand, it's also the story of love doing exactly what Jesus said it would do. Who knows how many uprisings or potential uprisings Rome quelled in its time, but this one, this uprising of love took the empire without ever drawing a sword or throwing a spear. It turns out that Jesus was not so silly after all. Human beings are usually more motivated by fear than love, greed than grace, power than understanding, but we also have better angels. It just takes us some time to realize those are the angels we should be following. It takes us some time to recognize that compassion, understanding, listening, caring, seeking to heal, feeding the downtrodden are not acts of weakness, acts of soft people doing soft things. They are acts of incredible strength that change the world. But it takes some time to learn all of that. And on this day, the people with fire of a very different power and glory burning in their minds were not ready to listen. A cross is rising in the distance. And even as the branches wave and the people cheer, Jesus is walking to it. A cross is rising in the distance. Lord, have mercy on our souls and give us the strength to follow His way.